About this, Congresswoman Ros-Lehtinen, tell us a little bit about the objective. What is the objective? Where does Congress fit in to affecting change here?
Well, for a dangerously long time, the Peace Corps has been considered a sacred cow in that anyone who questioned the lack of security, the lack of protection, the lack of follow-through, the lack of any empathetic care and protection of the Peace Corps volunteers was considered to be a heretic and someone who was not supportive of the Peace Corps mission. Quite the contrary. We need safeguards, and the only way to do that is to pass legislation, because good intentions are not getting the work done. Whether the rape, the assault, the gang rape, the brutal robberies that have taken place in many locations in Peace Corps volunteer sites throughout these years, all those good intentions have gone for naught. And unless we pass legislation that mandates whistleblower protection, that mandates certain sensitivity training, so that the Peace Corps organization itself is no longer back in the 1950s where rape was considered to be the woman's fault. They still have the blame the victim mentality, and it's part of a culture change that must be changed. And the good intentions of the current director, and we commend him for that, but he will go in a few years, another person will take his place, and it seems to be a repeated pattern. We need legislation to make sure that Peace Corps volunteers continue to perform their noble mission in a safe, nurturing environment where they will be protected. Instead, they are being sent to dangerous territories, and the Peace Corps itself is not policing what is going on. It's similar to what has been happening in college campuses in many years ago. Now it's totally different, where rapes are being reported. There's follow-through, there's care.
And Congresswoman,
here in the Peace Corps, it's let's hush it up. Don't tell people what's happened to you, because it will endanger our mission.
Well, and just so we could point out to our viewers that why maybe there's congressional involvement too is that the Peace Corps is federally funded like right. Many organizations around this country. And you pointed out that the Peace Corps has been doing great work for years and years and years. Not to say to belittle any of the experiences, but we're balancing these two things. The Peace Corps director did apologize yesterday. You're talking about legislation to come forward to mandate certain changes. Here's what the director had to say. I'm just going to read this so we have this point of view in the story. Over the past 20 months, we have put in place new policies to minimize the risk faced by volunteers, and to improve that way we respond to victims of crime. While the Peace Corps cannot eliminate every risk volunteers face during their service, I am committed to making sure that we do everything we can to protect volunteers and provide effective support to them and their families when a tragedy occurs. So, Congresswoman,
it's a nice start, but it's not good enough.
So what's
Nothing
the next thing you need to see?
Unless you mandate. We need to legislate these changes. Nothing will change, because we have heard these platitudes before, and good intentions are wonderful, but it's only when they're mandated to report, just like college campuses were mandated to report, just like police departments now take crimes like rape seriously. They take domestic abuse seriously. It needed to be a mandated change in the way that we train people, and the Peace Corps, yes, it's a wonderful mission.
When will that legislation happen?
We need to force them. Well, we will be working on it this year, and we hope to have it named after a wonderful Peace Corps volunteer who was actually murdered while serving in the Peace Corps, and still that mom was asking the Peace Corps to give her a formal apology. Now that prosecution of that rape and murder charge is still underway, but this is not just, this is rape and even up to murder. So we want to preserve the mission of the Peace Corps, and Dr. Conan is an expert on dealing with rape victims and the stress that's involved.
Yes, absolutely.
In making you feel that you're the problem instead of the victim.
We were discussing that a little bit earlier, Congresswoman. Thank you very much. Just briefly here.